Okay, this is Mikko, and this is the very first Solovey podcast interview. I'm truly glad that we have a great human being, Tania Ladanova. Did I pronounce your name right?
Oh, it's Ladanova, but it's okay.
Ladanova. Okay, yeah, with me over here, and we've known each other for quite a time because you've been running the Terminal 4 incubator and accelerator program, and but right now, what we would like to do is discuss it about, in the context of Solovey music, about Ukrainian culture and the music scene over here, and your thoughts about the whole situation. So that, but hey, enough of me. But hey, Tania, would you like to tell us who you are, what you are doing currently?
So I'm basically running a startup ecosystem. What we're doing at Terminal 4, we are creating different programs for startups, for them to grow, to scale, to raise investment, so everything connected to growing tech businesses. And we're doing it with some big tech players like Meta or Snapchat. We started from the CE region, meaning like Central Eastern European, and the team Ukrainian, of course, but yeah, the region that we covered, and now we are going global also, so working with the startups around the globe. And that's the core of who we are, what we are doing with the team.
So how do you see, let's talk about startups a little bit.
Yeah.
So how do you see the current situation with startups in Ukraine, especially, or CE region? What, from your point of view, what's going on?
I think that definitely the time of challenges, and there are some, waves of different emotions and actions connected to that. So in the beginning of the full-scale invasion and the war, we were like, I think, on the top of everything that we could accumulate to basically grow as a country and grow our businesses, everything. Then there was, I think, harsh reality came, and we were a bit tired, and I think the ecosystem, the founders, people were tired. Right now, we just understood that that's like our basic mode, so we're living in a war, and that's like period, right?
Yeah.
We need to deal with it. So I think right now it's not something super emotional, like we would win in every single front that we could, business, frontline, everything. Right now it was just, I think, doing our job. That's how I felt, and I think the startup ecosystem in Ukraine and in C region, because it's definitely influenced by what's going on in Ukraine. So that's like no other way. You have a borders sometimes with Russia and everything. So I think all those countries there just started to look at their strengths and trying to make just max of it. Like Ukraine, it's okay, it's defense. That could be, we're great at it, we could test it, we could deliver it to other markets. And I think that's just something that happened with not only Ukraine. So I feel like we're just in our everyday
Doing your job.
Doing our job.
Yes,
and
yes.
I think it's something that something unexpected about it. But I think some industries, they are booming in the tech verticals. I mean, some of them, they are not so popular right now because of nowadays.
Yes, yes. Yeah, the needs change. But I think my reflection of the startups in Ukraine has been that there's a lot of spirit going on over here, a lot of like doing your job things, and then I'm focused on these things. Then on the other note, every nation has their own unique culture, and in my trips and reflections of Ukraine, that you have a very powerful culture over here. So, and startups are part of the culture.
Yeah.
They are the people doing something, being entrepreneurs and something, but musicians, actors, everybody are also, they're kind of like startups as well. So what are your reflections as a Ukrainian about what are the cool things about Ukrainian culture currently?
Culture or just music
Music,
industry?
yeah.
Music
Yeah.
specifically, yeah. I'll probably start with the personal story,
Please.
maybe, how I feel it. I think that yeah, I just remember one um, one moment. I think it's months ago or 2 months ago. I'm doing the acting classes, like acting everything, and we had lessons connected to the Ukrainian traditional. Like singing, everything, and I was like, "Wow, that's nice. You probably could, just boost your voice a bit, just to understand how to sing loudly, and like because that's all about our those ancient singing, right? It's super loud and super powerful." And it was just a regular lesson, and then we started to sing together with a group just to practice a bit what we learned, and that was some super powerful moment for me because it's remind me a bit how my granny is singing during some some holidays, some traditional songs. It remind me a lot of movies that I saw back then, some Ukrainian like films that I like with those songs, and just in general it's something awaken, like oh my God, I'm Ukrainian. That's something that it like I would say in my blood. So all of the sounds, it's something that I really know. Even though I wouldn't say that I was raised in all of this, especially traditional music. Around there was lots of, unfortunately, I think Russian pop music, market, and it was everywhere, and it was popular. And something that is native, that is like close to us as Ukrainians, was not popular. And I think Russian propaganda did a lot of job to just, to like
wipe away the
unfortunately. But it was a moment when I realized that we have, as Ukrainians, connections to the music, to especially those, I think, motives, sounds, or traditional singing that for centuries just keep us alive. And that's in general, I think, what's going on here in Ukraine right now.
Finding the voice.
And started to be proud of who we are, what we're doing. And I think combining the different genres, what we see, more traditional ones, I don't know, with the techno, wherever, that's what I see everywhere, and I really like it. So this combination of modern Ukrainian music as well as more of the, from somewhere from the history, but it right now super relevant. And it's just giving us a vision that we have roots, and it's like it's powerful roots. And we didn't come from nowhere. We have like centuries and centuries of amazing culture and music as well.
That I've understood that there's a really like a long, even almost like 1,000 years traditions and very powerful. I think one of the things that differentiate the Ukrainian culture from Finnish culture is that Ukraine has a very strong contrasts. The colors. There's a lot of emotions and these things, and I think that's something that we in Finland should a little bit adapt to as well, like this. So
with the Finnish music, it's much more calmer.
There's a lot of melancholy in the, and I think that's a melancholy and being happy, sad is something that unites the songs. If I listen to Ukrainian songs, there's this melody that it's there's something melancholic quite often over there, and that's very similar to Finland as well. But we could have a bit more emotions like this, and I think that the emotional dimensions come from that Ukraine is really built on many different cultures, and there's like an interesting kind of mixture of thoughts and traditions as well that comes from there.
But if you are listening to the lyrics, I think that Ukrainian traditional songs, they're also super melancholic. They're kind of, you're complaining because something is going on, you're not happy with this. But at the same time, there's amazing weather, there's a beautiful girl going on like somewhere near, and you switch immediately. So it's definitely about the contrast. And also what I've learned that our traditional songs, and the way you're singing, it's like loud and what you mentioned, color, right? So all of this stuff. But that's because I think the circumstances where these songs were like born, it's when you have a, I don't know, field and you're doing your job and you like your maybe neighbors is somewhere far away from you, or you're in this, you know, mood when you can't just whisper, you need to loudly sing something together.
Yes.
To hear each other. So, and this loudness is coming from just the way where and how it was created.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a chorus, but you have people around the, you know, street, and you need to, or like, you know, field when you're working, and you need to kind of create this powerful sound and hear each other. So that was interesting part, because if we had a different place what their songs was created, maybe in Finland, I know you're sitting with your friends at home, let's say because it's a cold outside, maybe. So you don't need to be super, you know, loud and like super colorful.
That's a cool reflection.
That's just something came to my mind, but I'm not sure I'm right.
I think it's totally viable, and also very well preaching to the idea of the Solovey, the bird, which is actually very loud in singing. Yeah. By the way, we are recording this in Kiev, and there's some dog friends hanging out over here.
They're also singing, barking.
Yeah. So. You know, Solovey music is now identified for very important songs in Ukraine. I think they are important songs in Ukraine. So, and of course, I'm really excited at how people would, how they would reflect the songs. So, but you've heard some early demos of the songs, and so. What's your idea about the Oke and Elsie's Obimi? So if you would reflect so what's the story behind that song in general for you? Is there a story?
I think it's just something that I have another song. It's not Ukrainian, but it's called "Warm in the Cold Nights." I don't remember the singer, but I really like the song. And this song is from Oke and Elsie. It's something similar to this feeling.
Yeah.
And it's about, I think that the idea that there are lots of people that, you know, love you. There's your country when you can feel home, even if you're not in Ukraine or something. And it's all about the unity of different souls that you love. And they're always with you. And so I think that was my therapist told me, like, in the saddest moments, even if there's no one to hug you, you know, you can also hug yourself. So it's like, I think that the way that this song is built up around this idea of like hugging, and it's something super simple, but it's, you know, wake you up. It's giving you this, like, you know, wishing that you're not alone. So the song it's about, being like warm in a cold night, right?
Yes.
Because it's about that something going on, maybe a bit wrong inside you or around you or outside. So we just need something to, you know, to rely on. Yourself or someone else, but there is still every time somebody you can rely on.
Yes.
So that's about this.
There's a lot of hope in the songs.
Yeah. Definitely.
So what
I
about
think with all of Ukrainian songs?
Yeah.
We're not living it like everything is bad. Period. We're trying to give this a chance to be better.
Yeah.
I think that's something in our culture. We're like still continue doing something to fix it. So I think this song, that's also hope, because that's something that we really believe in. There's always a hope there, always a chance to get better. So
And really great point of view, and this is what we've been trying to do with the lyrics that Jona created for the Obimi song, for the Finnish version to convey the idea that even whatever has happened, there's still a song. So for you to say that the Finnish version of the Obim is like hold me and hug me kind of thing.
And it sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
I just really like it.
The lyrics goes that sing me a song, where the idea is by singing you kind of like create this hugging feeling like this.
Yeah.
So I'm still curious about then Zervona Ruutu, like the song. It apparently is a very everybody knows the song.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me, do you remember when you first heard the song?
Yeah, it's definitely were like some family celebrations of wherever it could be, some holidays. I think that from the early childhood, I had a television or radio station, or like it's everywhere. It's something connected to life celebrations for me. Even though the lyrics of the songs, it's what usually happen with all of the Ukrainian songs like that. It's not maybe, super like, positive. It's like, it's the different
sad
colors in that.
Yeah.
But just the motive and just this vibe, it's actually about celebration. And it's from early days of my life. Like it was everywhere.
Yeah. So these are the two of the songs, and four of them are coming, and also like two Finnish songs are to be published in
I'm
in
really
Ukrainian.
looking for this.
Yeah. So Tania, thank you for the conversation, and it's been really good reflections, and I think what we found out that this colors and loudness comes from that you need to state your thing to your neighbors in a countryside. I think it's just something, and I think this is quite a lot about the culture in general. It's about saying who you are and what you are up to. And this is what we also want to convey with the Solovey music, that Ukraine it's a unique and wonderful culture, and the world needs to know it.
Yeah, and I'm super grateful that you're doing this project with your team, your sons, and like partners, because that's there are different ways to support Ukraine, but I think we're talking about weapons. We're talking about many other super efficient ways to stay with Ukraine right now, which is also helping with. But the culture is something that keep us as a nation, and if you could not just develop it inside of the country, but have these collaborations, have this exchange with the different countries and the cultures, that's something that really make Ukrainian music especially to stay alive, to develop, and to go through the centuries and centuries of the history, and so that's so important what you are doing. Like I'm really waiting for the next tracks, next songs, everything.
All right. So thank you. I have no more words. Really, thank you for thanking me for this one. So thanks, Tania, and we'll start waiting for the songs to be live.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.